back, everybody, to a special Sunday edition of the Jewish Inspiration Podcast. Our guest this week is none other than Rabbi Chaim Kramer. Rabbi Chaim Kramer, welcome to Houston. How are you? How was your flight?
Baruch Hashem. We took off and we landed. I can't ask for more.
Baruch Hashem. We're thrilled that you're here, and we hope that through the time that we talk together, we'll have the opportunity to, Bez Hashem, get to know you more and to be inspired. And the goal of this whole podcast is to be who else to inspire us than you? So if you can please just give me a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and maybe the story of how you got to where you are today.
I was born August 6, 1945, the same day that the atom bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. And my mother always said there were two bombs, one in Japan and one in Brooklyn. And hers is still causing damage. But I'm here, Baruch Hashem.
Hashem.
I was in a regular modern Orthodox yeshiva in Brooklyn called Eitz Chaim on 13th Avenue in Borough Park. And my 7th grade Rebbe was a Breslov Hasidic, Rabbi Tzvi Aryeh Rosenfeld. And I liked what I heard. And I stayed with Breslov since then. This is 1958. So I'm in Breslov over 60 years, Baruch Hashem. And I grew with it. I studied it. I got married. I married my Rebbe's daughter, Rabbi Rosenfeld's daughter. That was after I kind of grew up. And then I'm an electrician by trade. I learned to be an electrician. I had my own business in Brooklyn. I moved to Eretz Yisrael in 1975 as an electrician. In 1976, I was invited to teach in Yeshiva Dvar Yerushalayim, which is about Shuva Yeshiva in Yerushalayim. And I tried out, and after 2 weeks, the Rosh Yeshiva asked me to take on a full-time position, which was very enheartening, because I didn't know I had a language, a common language, with a lot of boys who came from different backgrounds. I learned more from them than they may have learned from me. Incredible people who came seeking Hashem. Anyway, I would occasionally mention something from Rabbi Nachman, and they said to me, I heard of Rabbi Nachman, but I have no access to what he says, because everything was in Hebrew. There was one book at the time, Rabbi Nachman's Wisdom, translated by Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan, and that was it. That was available in English. So in 1979, we founded Breslov Research Institute with the intention of translating, say, 10 books of Rabbi Nachman, the 10 major books, and that was it. But people kept asking, does Rabbi Nachman speak about this subject or that subject or other subjects, whatever? And I said, yes. So why don't you make a book? So that's how Breslov Research became. We have over 80 different titles, and everything we have in English, we have in Spanish. We have quite a few books in French and in Russian, and of course in modern Hebrew, because the average Israeli does not read the Hebrew from the Sforim. So we have, Baruch Hashem, we've been able to spread Rabbi Nachman's teachings throughout the world. We have people all over the globe, aside from here in the States and Canada. We were in Mexico, we were in Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, we were in South Africa, Australia. We have people. I was in Europe in several places, and Baruch Hashem. So I had a very interesting life. And if you get into Breslov, it's like the U.S. Army advertises, join the Army and see the world. Not just to see the world, but to see the world what it's really like. The world fools you, the world is crazy, the world is obnoxious, the world is wonderful. But you have to see it. And that's what Rabbi Nachman does to you. Okay?
Amazing. So, what can you tell me about how you grew up? So you grew up as North School.
We played baseball, basketball, we swam, played tennis, we played football, did all the things that an American boy does. All right? But thank God, when I was 12 and change, I was introduced to Breslov, and I started studying Rabbi Nachman. I still played ball, I still swam, but we realized there's another side to life. And as we grew, we realized it more and more.
So your family was not connected to Hasidus, were they?
No.
So what is someone who grows up as a regular frum boy, Shomer Shabbos? Okay, we can learn Gemara, and we can learn Mishnah, and we can learn Halach, and we can learn Musar, and we can learn everything else. What was the attraction, particularly Breslov, that wasn't being offered in the regular traditional Jewish life?
Rabbi Nachman gave us a spirit, a reason to live, a reason to do the mitzvahs, a reason to keep Shabbos, a reason to daven. He simply gave it to us. I mean, it's in his books. He gave us a spirit. Halacha, the code of Jewish law, is a body of Torah. It tells you this is what you do, X, Y, and Z. Rabbi Nachman and Rabbi Nosson and the Likutei Halachos, they tell you why. They give you the feeling, the spirit of what Rabbi Nachman is all about, of what life is all about, of what Judaism is all about. I'll give you an example. Shulchan Aruch starts off, Yiskabir Ka'ari, you should strengthen yourself
Recording
like
in
a
progress.
lion, strengthen yourself like a lion, that you get up in the morning, you are ma'orer hashachar. You are awakening the morning. Okay? Simple Shulchan Aruch. That means get your whatever you call it out of bed and get dressed and go do your devotions and services, whatever you got to do. Reb Nosson says this applies to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What does it say? Shachar is like from the word shachor, black, darkness, right? Every person has their wonderful illuminating moments, and every person has their dark, depressing moments, right? Rabbi Nosson says you need the strength of a lion in order to be able to awaken that blackness in your life, enliven it, and make it work. How to bring joy into your life, how to bring life into your life. That's what he says, awaken. So now, awaken in the morning is not just awaken in the morning. It's awaken every single second of the day. You're aware of what's going on around you. Yeah, there are plenty of depressing moments. There are plenty of horrifying moments, but there really are plenty of wonderful, joyful moments. You have to be on the lookout for it, and you will find it, and you will be happy your whole life.
Amazing. So rumor has it that you once learned in the Mir Yeshiva.
Yeah, true.
And then
Right.
and then you left the yeshiva
I learned Mir Yeshiva
in Yerushalayim.
Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn.
I graduated high school, and then I went to the Mir in Yerushalayim. Lazy Yidel Finkel was then the Rosh Yeshiva, the old Rosh Yeshiva. And I was there for quite a few weeks. And one Friday night, I decided to daven in Breslov. And I came back from Breslov to the yeshiva to eat and go to sleep and do my Shabbos, whatever I have to do. The mashgiach was waiting for me. I'm not going to say his name. And he said, "You went to Breslov?" "Yes." "Get out." Get out of the yeshiva. We don't want Breslov here. That was the Mir Yeshiva. This was 1963, in the summer, right? They had something against Breslov. So I left. He said, if it wasn't Shabbos, I'd throw you out now, but you can stay here until after Shabbos. After Shabbos, I left. So that's the rumor. It's not a rumor, it's true.
And where'd you go from there?
To Breslov Yeshiva in Yerushalayim. And I was there for all the elders of the community at that time. And it still is embedded in my mind, the kind of giants among giants they were. So I'm happy. I'm happy it worked out that way.
Wow. That's incredible. I don't know that they would say the same thing today.
No.
I think they're much more...
Rabbi Tzvi, who passed away recently, a few years ago, whatever. One of my Talmidim in Breslov, he used to come to me for Shabbos and whatnot. He wanted to go to Uman Rosh Hashanah. The Mashgiach told him, if you go to Uman Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to ruin your name and going to ruin any shidduch that you go for. He said it to him. I'm going to ruin everything for you. But he asked me about it. What do I do? I said, go to Rabbi Tzvi. And he went to Rabbi Tzvi. Rabbi Tzvi said, daven for me too, and he gave him a kfittel.
Wow.
They wouldn't say it now.
Wow, that's amazing. So what was the real turning point where you decided that you're no longer going to continue your career as an electrician, and that's it, you're committed to publishing with
When
Breslov?
I started teaching Bali Tshuva, I was exposed to a world. I had met non-from people, of course, in business and whatnot. But when I started meeting the boys in Dvar Yerushalayim, I was actually blown away, totally blown away. Some of the backgrounds that these people had, right, where they came from and what they did, and that is studying, the learning. It was a whole area of Judaism that I was not really exposed to. I had met non-from people, Bali Tshuva, a few here and there, but being exposed to these boys taught me my life's lesson, taught me that every one of them was very precious. Every one of them was a committed Jew. Every one of them was someone who wanted Hashem. He wanted to serve Hashem, but they knew nothing about it. And it let me know what's happening in the world. It taught me a lot. And that's when, as they told me, I heard of Rabbi Nachman. I said, well, I know Rabbi Nachman will help them all. So that's when we began. I began the Institute in 1979.
So is part of your mission to reach Jews who are unaffiliated to connect with Rabbi Nachman's Torah?
My mission, I don't know if that's what you want to call it, right? I learned that there's Hashem in the world, and Hashem loves every Jew, mamish. He loves every person, no matter who you are. And the question is, how could you come to love Hashem? And I know from Rabbi Nachman's teachings that they have no equal in Torah literature. And you study it, you'll find out for yourself what Rabbi Nachman has to offer. So if you want to call it, my life's mission is to translate and publish Rabbi Nachman. Thank God I don't run the world. Thank God I'm not responsible for it. Thank God that I know that people want Hashem. Everyone talks about God somewhere, somehow. He's a very abstract concept, but he exists. He's there for you. You have to make the connection. And Rabbi Nachman teaches the best that you can do it. I'll tell you a story. I was in Boca Raton about 10 years ago, I guess. I was there for Shabbos. He invited 6 couples for Shabbos morning meal. Okay. We're sitting there. Remember, it's couples, men and women who have no idea what Breslov is all about. And we start the meal. We wash from odyssey. And one of the guests was the assistant rabbi at that time from the Boca Raton synagogue. And get up and go away from their wives for Rosh Hashanah, leave them behind with the children, right? Now, there are 2 ways to answer them. One, I could smash him as much as he smashed me, or I could explain it in such a way that all the couples there and women understand why it's the right thing to do to go to Uman Rosh Hashanah. Okay, so that's what I chose to do. Took about 20 minutes. I explained it clearly, and but then he threw another challenge out at me. And I don't remember the rest of the challenge. But same thing, you have to answer. And this went on for 2 hours. Now, I'm going to throw a challenge out to you. Nobody else spoke for him, and I want you to learn 5 minutes a day from those forums. And then I want you to, every sefer ever written, from Adam Arishon till today, screams out, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Everyone says that Hashem is Echad. Everyone. There's no sefer that doesn't speak about that. At the end of a month, I want you to call and tell me which sefer spoke out the loudest and the clearest of all svarim that Hashem Echad. And I guarantee you it'll be the Breslov sefer. Okay, that was my challenge to him. Interestingly, he was an honest person and a devoted person to Hashem. 3 weeks later, I get an email from that Litvak guy at the table that spoke so harsh against Breslov and whatnot. I said, yeah. Sure, this 3rd meal on Shabbos, he gave over a lesson from the Likutei Moharan, Rabbi Nachman's Magnum Opus. A couple of weeks after that, I was in the States. He calls me up. He says, how do I register to come to Uman Rosh Hashanah?
Wow.
And this was May, June, and he came. And he's been there other times since then. Right? He's a rabbi in a shul. He can't get away so fast for Rosh Hashanah, but he came. He was an honest person. He looked at Rabbi Nachman's writings, and this is it. So there you go.
That's amazing. Amazing. So, so I understand you're saying that it's more accessible, more understandable. It's a fresh approach that perhaps those other Sfarim don't have. But about the general Breslov Hasidus, I mean, there are about 1,000 different Hasidic dynasties. You have Belz and you have Babov and you have Munkach and Satmar and Skver and Gur and Chabad and you name it. There's so many different ones. I mean, Rachma Strifka and Sanz and Kloisenberg, you name it. There's another. Every village in Europe has a Rebbe. Okay, how does Breslov distinguished where, just another question that I've been asked multiple times, Breslov doesn't have a Rebbe. Breslov doesn't have a Rebbe since Reb Nosson.
Since Rabbi Nachman.
Since Rabbi Nachman. I'm saying, but Reb Nosson was sharing the teachings of Reb Nachman. But that's it. There's nobody. So how does it survive, and what distinguishes it from the others?
Well, the fact that it's distinguished by we don't have a Rebbe. We don't have a living Rebbe. One of the
there's another Hasidus now that doesn't either, right?
Yeah, okay, but that's different. They learn from us. I mean, whatever. But that's because they have a tradition. We have the Babich Rabbis. It didn't. When they did, I don't know. Learn to long time ago.